In the news this week, a peer says NHS trusts are putting transgender rights before women's safety. A new report reveals the persecution of Christians in Nigeria has drastically risen. And Northern Ireland's First Minister vows to resist Westminster's abortion diktat. Hello. NHS trusts are putting transgender rights before women's safety, a peer has said. Writing in the Daily Mail, Baroness Nicholson said NHS trusts across the country have issued guidance saying patients should be accommodated based on the gender they say they identify with. This means they can pick which ward, toilets and shower facilities they use. As a consequence, Lady Nicholson said female patients have been left distraught, and many who have expressed discomfort at this turn of events have been accused of transphobia and hate crime. We have heard cases ranging from dementia patients distressed at waking up next to someone who, in their mind, looks like a man, to reports of a rape on a psychiatric unit undertaken by a biological male who identified as a woman. Despite the likely backlash, the Baroness remained undaunted. What matters more, she said, was finding a way of protecting the vulnerable. Academics suggest there may be up to 5,000 patients in the UK with prolonged disorders of consciousness, known as PDOC, such as being in a vegetative state, who are actually conscious. Neuroscientist Professor Adrian Owen, neurologist Professor Neil Scolding, and ethicist Professor John Keown contend that their research has serious implications for medical practice. They outline their findings in a letter to The Times. Remarkable research using neuroimaging has shown that about 20% of patients labelled as PDOC are in fact fully, or at least partly, conscious. However, they continued, in its latest guidance, the Royal College of Physicians does not recommend the use of such technologies to detect consciousness. They labelled the position of the health organisation as indefensible and called for an urgent review of its guidelines on scientific, ethical and legal grounds. Thousands of Nigerian Christians have been murdered or abducted by Islamic militants since the beginning of the year, a civil liberties group has reported. Intersociety estimates that almost 3,500 Christians have been killed in Nigeria since the 1st of January, attributing the majority to extremist Fulani herdsmen. Despite almost half of the Nigerian population identifying as Christian, the country is one of the worst in the world for Christian persecution, being ranked 9th in Open Doors World Watch List. Lord Alton of Liverpool described the report as shocking and chilling. And finally, the First Minister of Northern Ireland has said he intends to fight the Secretary of State's direction to make abortions more readily available. Last month, Brandon Lewis ordered the province to make Westminster-imposed abortion regulations fully operational by the 31st of March next year, but Paul Givan has said he will contest the move. Givan made his stance clear in an interview with the BBC.
Well, I spoke to the Secretary of State and I said to him he shouldn't do this, that it was wrong for him to do it. I was disappointed whenever he proceeded in issuing that direction. We are taking legal advice now as to the implications of that legal action that he has taken and what our options are legally to resist. And it certainly is my intention to resist what the Secretary of State has done by way of a direction, but I need to look at all of my options, both politically and legally, whenever it comes to this particular issue.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.
Well, a very good afternoon to everybody out there. Welcome to another edition of The Late Lunch Show alongside your boy DJ Val. How are you all doing out there today? I wish it was a brighter day. I wish it was summer, right? Gotta give props going out there, calls to my Bishop John Anthony Francis, and my co-pastor Penny Francis. They're the visionaries and founders of my home church, which is Ruach City Church. And of course, gotta say great afternoon going out there to Team Salt FM, as we had a little soul to their Salt FM drive time. Shouts going out there to the architect, DJ Jide, the unstoppable Mr. Shuggy Tosh, and the incomparable Miss Louisa. Those are the guys behind the mighty Sword FM, Manor FM, Tosh PR. Shouts going out to you guys as we join you live for the first time in the week. And we have an absolutely super duper califragilisticexpialidocious show lined up for you today. I have none other than one of the founders of Joyous Celebration, MTN Joyous Celebration, Jabu, Hlongwane. He's going to be joining us a little bit later on, so please tell people, tell your family, tell your friends, this is one not to miss. But without further ado, I don't want to waste any time. Let's get down to some great music.
Hi, this is Wendy Walker and you are listening to the Soul Food Show with DJ Val.
Yo, blessings in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. This is your boy Diligence from Tampa, Florida. You are now listening to the Soul Food Gospel Show with my brother DJ Val. Salute.
Hi, it's your man, superstar, contemporary, Holy Ghost-filled gospel artist, Mr. T. Briggs, and you're listening to the Soul Food Gospel Show with DJ Val, the best gospel show in the United Kingdom. Check it out.
Hey everyone, it's Keandra Lockett here, and you are listening to the Soul Food Gospel Show with DJ Val.
This is Lorraine Clark McGee, and you're listening to DJ Val on the Soul Food Show.
Wherever I am in the world, j'écoute le Soul Food Show avec DJ Val. C'est sur Ruach Radio. Ce show est fantastique, est incroyable. Un show à ne pas manquer, les amis. Allez, à bientôt. Ciao.
DJ Val, playing the finest and the best in what gospel has to offer you. I'm gonna say it again. DJ Val, playing the finest and the best in what gospel has to offer you.
DJ Val, playing the very best in gospel's finest and rarest grooves this side of the Mississippi.
When I look at you, baby, you're blazing like fire. Lift your head high. We're about to go higher. Don't let spin and bring it back. Turn the God walk and lay back. Oh, what a beauty I found.
Nicole's going to give a massive shout going out to class captain. She is no longer on the UK shores.
You're so beautiful.
all the way out there in Trinidad, joining us live and direct. Hope you hook up with Marsha while you're out there.
We feel so wonderful. You are so beautiful.
Talking to Marsha, I want to give a special shout out to little Miss Renisha. Did exceptionally well in her exams, despite all the problems that they had out there at St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So well done to Renisha.
Just the way you are.
Your uncle DJ Val is super impressed. And of course, if you are new to the show, you type new in the comments. If you're old to the show, you've got to type young. And if you're hiding behind the privacy glass, some call YouTube. All you got to do is you can keep hiding, but remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and of course, give your boy that very, very special thumbs up, which is a like, which means that I move up in the rankings. People can discover us, more people can come on board, and we can have a super duper califragilisticexpialidocious time.
Hey, this is Shiva Franklin, and you're listening to DJ Val on the Soul Food Gospel Show.
Some Omali Cha baby. There's a dance to this, I'm gonna see if I can do it.
You already know the squad, you know. That girl is my baby, sweet, sweet lady. I'm my child, baby. That's right. Fine, fine lady. That girl is my baby, sweet, sweet lady. I'm my child, baby. That's true. Fine, fine.
Absolute rubbish, DJ Val.
But they can do what I can do.
Let's get down to that boy called Fegsy and the whole music birthed out of the Spirit team.
Give the Lord a dance, dance. Give the Lord a dance. Yes, give the Lord a dance. Where did I go get to you, Baba? Where did I go get to you, Baba? You woke me up this morning.
Of course, want to say hi, go down to the Federal Government College Ilorin old boys and old girls. I was listening back to an earlier show, and in one of the shows, I can't remember which one it was because I listen back to stuff, right? And I did say class of 1993. The devil is a liar, right? Some of you would like to be class of 1993, but no. Outside Demi Dio Sungo P. Harry. Auntie Talima, Auntie Yourself. And of course, the boy called Frankie Knuckles alongside Lady Sue.
You woke us up this morning. You blessed us with this baby. That girl is my baby. That's right. Sweet, sweet lady. I'm my child, baby.
So yeah, just a little FYI, we will be having Pastor Jabu Hlongwane. He's going to be joining us in about just over an hour's time as we talk all thing Joyous Celebration. MTN Joyous Celebration is the right way to refer to them, actually. One of South Africa's, and I think probably across the whole world, man. They're one of the most prolific groups absolutely out there. When I mentioned to Alistair V's mummy that I've got somebody coming on from Joyous Celebration, went, ooh, moving up in the world, DJ Val. We try.
That girl is my baby. Sweet.
And of course, this August heralds the beginning of Soul Food Gold. What is Soul Food Gold? It's where I go back into the archive and I dig out some of the very, 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 very best tracks that we've very, very best shows that we've ever done. Not tracks, actually. There's going to be great tracks there as well, but we're going to go back in time, do a bit of a rewind, because some of us have joined the Soul Food Party a little bit later on, but we have been in existence since 2014, the 23rd of September, and there's been a lot of great shows, a lot of great interviews, a lot of great interaction, and I thought I would take this summer to share them with you all.
Church be my shield and defense.
Inside the guy who does need an introduction, Sterling Roberts, aka Mr. Cool Breeze.
I've made my dwelling place.
Your mind, body, and
For God is my refuge.
In my fortress,
I've made my dwelling place. Yeah.
under the Almighty
That's alright, no one's listening anyway.
Refuge.
fortress.
He will deliver me from every calamity.
Temptation will come nigh to me. Holy Spirit outside and inside of me. Sheltered up in the most high because my residence is the Father. I've made my dwelling place here under the Almighty. For God is my refuge and my fortress. I've made my dwelling place here under the Almighty. For God is my refuge and my fortress.
I want to say great afternoon, good out to Mummy Reed. Outside Lady L. Oh, that's still running, isn't it? Who would have thought it, eh? We haven't got any guests lined up after our brother Mr. Jabu has finished. You know, this summer we will be banking the guests up, trust me, when we come back in September. But, you know, we've got trying to take a little bit of a break. There's things to do. We've got to let the team take some time off, otherwise they get upset, even though they have been on furlough for God knows how long. But if you notice, while they were on furlough, the Soul Food Show was still going, right? We didn't stop, right? Remember, not so long ago, it was 7 days, 8 shows. We've gone down to a mere 6 days and 7 shows.
I've made my dwelling place here.
Good job, I like what I do, right? Q-Time Calls tells me 17 minutes past the top of the hour. 30 minutes before our Bible reading kicks off.
Place here under the Almighty. Under the Almighty. Under the Almighty.
We do indeed have a brand new record of the week as well, so lots of great stuff actually.
For God is my refuge and my fortress, yeah. I've made my dwelling place here.
I gotta say, congratulations going out to Sterling. I think this one's number 1 somewhere actually.
You are my strength and fortress.
That's right.
You are my fortress. You are my fortress. Strength and my fortress. You are my fortress. Yeah. You are my fortress.
So it looks like one of those days where we just got like lots of new music that's just slipped in. Gotta slide into this one by my boy S.O. featuring Little Miss Ray Ray.
You're listening to the Smooth Groove Gospel Soul Food Station with your host, DJ Val.
Longing for the day that I'll see your face to face. 'Cause when I see the flowers bloom, the beauty always speaks of you. I'm living in a wonderland, making all my dreams come true. Oh, I found my treasure. I'm holding on to you. There's no way I'll give you up. There's no way I'm letting you go. 'Cause your love is better than gold, than gold. Yeah, and there is still so much to give. 'Cause your heart for me is real. 'Cause your love is better than gold, than gold. With my eyes I've seen how much you look out for me. Feels good that you know my name. My name, I'm covered by
It's the
you.
Soul Food Show.
All my dreams come true. Oh, I found my treasure. I'm holding on to you. There's no way I'll give you.
Something brand spanking new by this dynamic duo. It's not Batman and Robin.
Love is better than gold.
It is Little Miss Ray Ray alongside S.O. This one's called Better Than Gold.
So much to give. 'Cause your heart for me.
Should you use this one for the theme for my gold series? I'm saying that gold series. I'm quite excited about it myself. You know.
Control my moment. This kind of love keeps growing. If
I'll tell you why. Because there's some, you have some guests that come on that it was really good, but it's been such a long time. I look back on my and this was just on YouTube actually, and it came up with like 141 different instances, which I thought was a little bit much. But I think that includes the repeat shows. But we've had so many guests of different calibers, different things that they want to talk about. I'm really excited to have a chance to have a bit of a listen back to those shows. And I'll tell you the other thing it allows you to do as well. It allows you to see the growth of where we've come from as well. And I've been told that while we're running kind of like the Gold Series, that the engineers are working on a whole new set design and whole new stuff to come out for September once we come out. So expect lots of Gold shows. I think I'm going to still have some live shows, so don't worry about that. There will be some live shows. Don't think that you're not going to get any live shows, like your Catch a Fire Fridays and things like that. But we are rolling out. Really want to push this out because I want to introduce and get you used to what's happened before, so that you can really be great supporters of everything that we do, right?
You have been my hope, gripped in fear I was, but you
sounds of Mr. Michael or your
every move I make, Lord, I'm making you, you're my everything, Waymaker, you are, miracles, you do, you're my strength, you are, I believe, you do, Waymaker, you are, miracles, you do, what are you turning to, I know. Say over and over, you keep providing for me. Say over and over, you keep on blessing me, yeah. Say over and over, you never fail me, yeah. Say over and over, you keep on blessing me, yeah. Lamba, oh, Lamba, keep providing for me. Lamba, oh, Lamba,
Gotta say congratulations going out to Mr. Sheehan Roberts. I saw him graduating. Well done, sir, well done. Study and show thyself approved, a workman that need not to be ashamed, rightly being able to divide that word of truth.
I am here to stay under the shadow of your wing. Waymaker, you are, miracles, you do, you're my strength, you are, I believe, you do, Waymaker, you are, miracles. What are you turning to? I know. Say over and over, you keep providing for me. Say over and over, you keep on blessing me.
You gotta say, really love this jam,
You never fail me, yeah.
So it looks like it's so much new music has come through in the past couple of weeks, and I want to thank everybody who's taken the opportunity to submit to the new music link at soulfoodgospel.com. If you have some music that you want me to feature or play or like me to listen to or you want my opinion on, why don't you email me at soulfoodoffice@gmail.com. You never know.
Keep on blessing me, yeah. Say over and over.
You just might make it in.
Say over and over.
You never know, man.
Keep on blessing me, yeah. Lamba, oh, lamba, oh.
Do let me know if I'm sounding good wherever you are as well. I'm looking at the meters in the studio. They look like they're running a little bit on the hot side, but let me know if you can hear me loud and clear.
A loving father.
Talking of great music,
like
Miss Sarah Tabo.
You're everything.
This one is called Belongs to You. Big tune.
So undeserving of all the mercy, but still you shower me. So my praise flows like a river, burns like a fire, now and forever. It all belongs to you. It belongs to you. Oh, it belongs to you. It belongs to you. Oh, it belongs to you. It belongs to you. You keep your promise. You never fail me because you're not a man.
Anybody wondering whatever happened to my Oscar? It fell off. I don't know where it went. I've got to find it.
Cause I know you.
I want to give shouts going out to all the team over there at the Praise Factory Awards, the 14th edition.
Like a river, burns like a fire.
And Just to FYI, your boy's going to be there, you know. That's right. Praise Factory Awards, the 14th cycle. Your boy DJ Val is going to be there on the night.
Oh, it belongs to you. It belongs to you.
Not too sure if I can get Mr. Alistair V to come with me. His schedule has become somewhat a bit more hectic now, so as you can imagine. Shouts going out to the Brent Bulls basketball team, which he's part of. And a cool shouts going out there to Ngozi and Alistair V's mummy Olive.
So my praise flows like a river, burns like a fire, now and forever.
I was going to tell you guys something and it's completely skipped my mind.
It belongs to you. It belongs to everything. Oh, it belongs to you. It belongs.
That was it as well. I was going to say thank you to everybody who's given me thumbs up on Strava. Really appreciated. Strava is our community workout app that we all use, available for you to freely download on the Apple App Store, or whether it be on the Google Play Store, and we track our activity, our workouts and things like that. So gotta say, yesterday I was able to dodge the rain. I don't know what happened on Saturday, but Saturday it just rained all day here in the UK. But I was able to dodge the rain yesterday, put in a nice 31 miles or so, I was kind of happy with that. And then this morning it was raining and I just had to kind of like jump out and slid in a mere 10 miles, but something is better than nothing. And I've always been told to take it easy after those long days as well, man.
A perfect sacrifice for me.
So why don't you join us, man? Come on.
What would I do without you?
You don't even have to work too hard, you just got to take it gingerly.
The way you love me so tenderly, yeah. You love me, love me so. So I love you, I place no one above you, put nothing above you. There is no one like you, yeah. For all that you are, I give you all the praise.
So
you my head.
Remember, we are going all the way to South Africa.
Always, because you carry me like a baby.
As we celebrate 25 years of MTN Joyous celebration.
See your goodness and mercy.
South Africa's most prolific and probably most well-known gospel group out there.
All I see is you.
I'll tell you what I found out as well, that
there's no one like you.
In Joyous 1, which was the very first very first kind of like music thing that they did, Benjamin Dube was part of that team as well. So I think everybody who is anybody from South Africa has played some part in a Joyous celebration. These guys have done so well, man. Recorded an album in the Potter's House, and they've really done a great job in being ambassadors of great gospel music. But you're gonna have to catch that interview a little bit later on. Don't go nowhere.
Nothing can separate me from you. Nothing can separate me from you. I could go on now. I could go on.
So we got our Bible reading coming up very shortly. We don't want to dilly-dally and waste any time. Translation of the tongues, jejeli, means take it easy, nice and slowly. A bit like what we do here on the Late Lunch Show, right? Jejeli. Gotta give props going out to Mr. Marizu Ikechi and all the HFP team. We're going to slide outside that. It is indeed time for our Bible reading. So let's trigger that so that we can get it underway. Our Bible reading is taken from the Bible Experience. I believe it is the best way today to enjoy God's marvelous and miraculous word, especially on a Monday.
The Bible.
We are reading from the book of Esther, and we're going to do the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th divisions. May you be blessed by God's marvelous and miraculous word.
When Mordecai learned of all that had been done, he tore his clothes, put on sackcloth and ashes, and went out into the city, wailing loudly and bitterly. But he went only as far as the king's gate, because no one clothed in sackcloth was allowed to enter it. In every province to which the edict and order of the king came, there was great mourning among the Jews, with fasting, weeping, and wailing. Many lay in sackcloth and ashes. When Esther's eunuchs and female attendants came and told her about Mordecai, she was in great distress. She sent clothes for him to put on instead of his sackcloth, but he would not accept them. Then Esther summoned Hathach, one of the king's eunuchs assigned to attend her, and ordered him to find out what was troubling Mordecai and why. So Hathach went out to Mordecai in the open square of the city, in front of the king's gate. Mordecai told him everything that had happened to him, including the exact amount of money Haman had promised to pay into the royal treasury for the destruction of the Jews. He also gave him a copy of the text of the edict for their annihilation, which had been published in Susa, to show to Esther and explain it to her. And he told him to instruct her to go into the king's presence to beg for mercy and plead with him for her people. Hathach went back and reported to Esther what Mordecai had said. Then she instructed him to say to Mordecai,
"All the king's officials and the people of the royal provinces know that for any man or woman who approaches the king in the inner court without being summoned, the king has but one law, that they be put to death unless the king extends the gold scepter to them and spares their lives. The 30 days have passed since I was called to go to the king."
When Esther's words were reported to Mordecai, he sent back this answer.
"Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place. But you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to royal position for such a time as this."
Then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai.
"Go, gather together all the Jews who are in Susa, and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish."
So Mordecai went away and carried out all of Esther's and stood in the inner court of the palace, in front of the king's hall. The king was sitting on his royal throne in the hall, facing the entrance. When he saw Queen Esther standing in the court, he was pleased with her, and held out to her the gold scepter that was in his hand. So Esther approached and touched the tip of the scepter. Then the king asked,
"What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given you."
"If it pleases the king,"
replied Esther,
"let the king, together with Haman, come today to a banquet I have prepared for him.
Bring Haman at once,
the king said,
so that we may do what Esther asks.
So the king and Haman went to the banquet Esther had prepared.
Haman, Esther has outdone herself. She has indeed.
As they were drinking wine, the king again asked Esther,
Now, what is your petition? It will be given you. And what is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be granted.
Esther replied,
My petition and my request is this. If the king regards me with favor, and if it pleases the king to grant my petition and fulfill my request, let the king and Haman come tomorrow to the banquet I will prepare for them. Then I will answer the king's question.
Haman went out that day happy and in high spirits. But when he saw Mordecai at the king's gate and observed that he neither rose nor showed fear in his presence, he was filled with rage against Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman restrained himself and went home. Calling together his friends and Zeresh his wife, Haman boasted to them about his vast wealth, his many sons, and all the ways the king had honored him, and how he had elevated him above the other nobles and officials.
In front of everyone. And that's not all. I'm the only person Queen Esther invited to accompany the king to the banquet she gave. And she has invited me along with the king tomorrow. But all this gives me no satisfaction as long as I see that Jew, Mordecai, sitting at the king's gate.
His wife Zeresh and all his friends said to him,
Have a pole set up, reaching to a height of 50 cubits, and ask the king in the morning to have Mordecai impaled on it. Then go with the king to the banquet and enjoy yourself.
This suggestion delighted Haman, and he had the pole. So he ordered the book of the Chronicles, the record of his reign, to be brought in and read to him. It was found recorded there that Mordecai had exposed Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's officers who guarded the doorway, who had conspired to assassinate King Xerxes.
What honor and recognition has Mordecai received for this?
The king asked.
Nothing has been done for him.
His attendants answered. The king said,
Who was in the court?
Now Haman had just entered the outer court of the palace to speak to the king about impaling Mordecai on the pole he had set up for him. His attendants answered,
Haman is standing in the court.
Bring him in.
Yes, my
The king ordered. When Haman entered, the king asked him,
What should be done for the man the king delights to honor?
Now Haman thought to himself,
Who is there that the king would rather honor than me?
So he answered the king,
For the man the king delights to honor, have them bring a royal robe the king has worn, and a horse the king has ridden, one with a royal crest placed on its head. Then let the robe and horse be entrusted to one of the king's most noble princes. Let them robe the man the king delights to honor, and lead him on the horse through the city streets, proclaiming before him, This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor.
Go at once.
The king commanded Haman.
Get the robe and the horse and do just as you have suggested for Mordecai the Jew, who sits at the king's gate. Do not neglect anything you have recommended.
Yes, my lord.
So Haman got the robe and the horse. He robed Mordecai and led him on horseback through the city streets, proclaiming before him,
This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor.
Afterward, Mordecai returned to the king's gate. But Haman rushed home with his head covered in grief and told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had happened to him. His advisers and his wife Zeresh said to him,
Since Mordecai, before whom your downfall has started, is of Jewish origin, you cannot stand against him. You will surely come to ruin.
While they were still talking with him, the king's eunuchs arrived and hurried Haman away to the banquet. Haman went to Queen Esther's banquet. And as they were drinking wine on the second day, the king again asked,
Queen Esther, what is your petition? It will be given you. What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be granted.
Then Queen Esther answered,
If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. This is my petition. And spare my people. This is my request. For I and my people have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated. If we had merely been sold as male and female slaves,
what?
I would have kept quiet.
What are you saying?
Because no such distress would justify disturbing the king.
King Xerxes asked Queen Esther,
Who is he? Where is he? The man who has dared to do such a thing.
An adversary and an enemy. This vile Haman.
Then Haman was terrified before the king and queen. The king got up in a rage, left his wine, and went out into the palace garden. But Haman, realizing that the king had already decided his fate, stayed behind to beg Queen Esther for his life. Just as the king returned from the palace garden to the banquet hall, Haman was falling on the couch where Esther was reclining. The king exclaimed,
Will he even molest the queen while she is with me in the house?
As soon as the word left the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. Then Harbona, one of the eunuchs attending the king, said,
A pole reaching to a height of 50 cubits stands by Haman's house. He had it set up for Mordecai, who spoke up to help the king.
The king said,
Impale him on it.
So they impaled Haman on the pole he had set up for Mordecai. Then the king's fury subsided. Inspired by the Bible Experience.
So right back after the Bible reading, thought I'd do a little bit of stirring up, right? Miss Nikki Finest Sariki. You know, I could put another, thinking I could put another use to this song, you know. I don't know if you're at your work and maybe they're not too fond of you being a Christian, you can just put this track on. Turn it up real loud. I'm stirring it up, you know.
Out my head 'cause I am on the down.
Don't go and do that. Don't take my advice. It's just a thought, you know.
Only for the night.
As I like to say, these things do so charge my fantasies.
And I got to think right.
Gotta say, congratulations and celebrations as well going out there to the guys over there at Throne Connection Radio, one of my syndicating partners. Shouts going out there to them. 2 awards. I can't remember the award ceremony, so please forgive me. But I do know it was their 20th wedding anniversary, and I just want to say from all of us here at Soul Food Gospel, broadcasting out of London, United Kingdom, we wish you many, many more. And we thank God for both you, Carissa B and Thomas B, your lives, right? I said Throne Connection Radio. I'm thinking Throne Connection Radio. Are they celebrating 20 years? No. It's actually Thomas B, Carissa B, Christ-like, celebrating 20 years of being married together. That's really great news.
I'll walk tall.
Just looking at the track listing, there's a track that seems not to have populated the name, so I'm wondering whether to take a gamble and play that one or just skip it for the moment. I want to say thank you to all the backroom team, all the guys who help us out to keep things moving smoothly over here, all the graphic designers, all the engineers, the tech team, the staging team, and of course all the researchers and PR guys. Great summertime music over here at Soul Food Gospel. And I gotta say hi going out to everybody who's joined us, of course, via the Soul Food Gospel's 24-hour streaming solution over there at soulfoodgospel.com. Shouts going out to the other DJ Val as he takes a break while I take over the reins. He is so good, that guy, man. I'm wondering whether or not sometimes, you know, when I'm nominated for these awards, maybe it's him they're really thinking of and not me. That's an interesting thought.
You're listening to the Smooth Groove Gospel Soul Food Station with your host, DJ Val.
Fortune favors the brave ones.
I wonder. It's got me thinking now. Let's go massive.
You've worked so hard.
Great afternoon going out to Miss Naomi Brown. Outside the unspoken word, aka since 96.
They didn't want to know about you. And for so long, they said it could not be done. But now we're here looking at you, amazed at the things you can do. And it's a no-brainer to go massive, go massive, go.
Can I just say this, FYI, please stop trying to sell me stuff, right?
Don't hold back, no.
The amount of people that come onto my thing and they want to try and sell me stuff, and I don't want to buy anything. If I do, I will let you know.
Don't hold back, no. You need a touch of resilience when you are chasing your dream.
I think one of the things I forget is because we run this, run this platform. I'm not very picky about the people that like my pages and they comment and they join things as well like that. So you're welcome to be part of the community of what we do, which is provide great gospel music 24/7. But please, no multi-level marketing schemes, no forex, no nothing like that. The people I've spoken to, if I want to do it, I already have people ready who are ready to sign me up. So you don't need to worry yourself anymore, okay?
But now we're heading.
No Bitcoin trading, no nothing like that. Just leave me in peace.
And it's a no-brainer to go massive, go massive, go. I'm telling you, don't hold back, no. Maybe this is the world. Go massive, go. I'm telling you, don't hold back, no. Maybe this is the world. Here's your chance, you best be taking it. There's no time to lose and making it. Just a little faith, you're moving every mountain in your way. Here's your chance, you best be taking it. There's no time to lose and making it. Just a little faith, you're moving every mountain in your way.
I was just having a thought about how we were going to introduce our guest when he is ready. I think what we do is, because I have a Joyous celebration track, Thank You, as a record of the week. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do the record of the week, then I'm going to go straight into the interview. Now, just a bit of a heads up, because of certain constraints and certain time related things, and to be honest, Joyous celebration, they're part of Warner Brothers, and I can't remember the other record label as well, so in huge demand. So I had to get this a little bit earlier on from Pastor Jabu, but nevertheless still a great interview. So I'm very fortunate. So I think what I'll do is I'll do that, then I'll run the VT, and we shall hear what or how Joyous celebration all came about. This was it, right? Brand spanking you by Yetunde Olomolaye. Sounds like a sweet sound to me.
Because in you I live and move, in you I have my being. You fashioned everything you made to please and worship you. Because in you I live and move, in you I have my being. Right before I came to be, you fashioned everything you made to please and worship you. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound. Let it be a sweet sound, sweet, sweet sound. Let it be a sweet sound, sweet, sweet sound. Let it be a sweet sound, sweet, sweet sound. Let it be a sweet sound. Hey, in spirit and in truth, oh come. To worship as your holy hill. I'll be a living sacrifice. That's what I'm gonna be. To you I owe my everything. Putting on my cloak.
Oh, I see what happened. No. I can't remember. I was doing something on Strava and it just stopped. So
Break my alabaster
didn't record what I was doing. So I thought, oh, okay, it's fine.
sweet perfume. Putting on my cloak of praise and dance.
But you got to make sure that you don't. You got to be careful. You got to make sure that you don't overdo it. I'm feeling that much better now. But I found that you got to slide in some rest time and adequate breaks between rides. You can't just be doing 30 miles backwards and forwards every day of the week, and it's all hunky dory, man.
Let it be a sweet sound, sweet, sweet sound. Let it be a sweet
Something brand spanking new
sweet
by Miss Yetunde Olomolaye. I can remember when I couldn't say her name, right?
sound,
Q-Time Chords gives me only 5 minutes away from the news. I am going to have to move really quickly. Let's do this. Shouts out to the cat called Ace One.
Westion Productions.
DJ Val, play music for your mind, body, and soul.
This one's deep, said it is a true story. How it was brought to the Most High's glory. Life and the death of the resurrection of the King of Kings, you can gain victory. Grew up in inner city Birmingham, where there's gang warfare and the streets are gory. 2 caring parents did their best in search for the truth, but provided for me. 12 tribes rastas, read Old Testament, never ate meat and it was mandatory. Conscious music in my territory, aware of colonial ideologies from Rome, like slavery and purgatory. Horrifying episodes from his story, Most High's voice it would always call me. My testimony story.
Welcome to my testimony. God is really spoke to me. Woke up from my dream, God told me, tell my story. Now you may get to know me.
Got older, left home. Went uni, became youth worker, was my profession. Music from early, speak my expression. Pirate radio, Ace and Brasco. We got deep in studio sessions. NODB with the lyrical aggression. Things got tough on the road, there was beef, I was convicted, I was in transgression. Claimed to believe in the Most High God, but the way I was living, something different. Had to be honest, express my confession. Started to search and seek, it's reality deep in my mind, that was my obsession. What must I do to be saved from sin in my heart and soul? Now that was the question. My testimony, listen.
Welcome to my testimony. God is really spoke to me. Woke up from my dream, God told me, tell my story. Now you may get to know me.
In my search I came across many worldviews. No remedy for sin, it was all mysticism. Mason books, Egyptology, called himself God, autism and schism. Philosophy, religion, book of Revelation in the Bible, the deep symbolism. Most I open my eyes to the vision. Clear understanding of the Christ mission. Free us from sin, cleanse our hearts so we love to do right. Deep heart contrition. Pray through Christ, I make my petition. Only one remedy to my condition. No shedding of blood, there is no remission. Most I prompted my intuition. Sin separates from God partition. Now is the time to make your confession.
Welcome to my testimony. God is really spoke to me. Woke up from my dream, God told me, tell my story. Now you may get to know me. Welcome to my testimony. God is really spoke to me. Woke up from my dream, God told me, tell my story. Now you may get to know me. My God is real. My God is, my God is real.
Gotta say, really like that joint. Shouts going out to the cat called Ace One. That one should definitely go on the original show, man. As we go back to a guy who is all the way out there in Zambia, Stevie Glory, Talala. I dare not try and pronounce the name of the new album, man. I'm scared I'm gonna ruin it. Only got a few minutes left before we got to slide in. I was getting carried away then. I wasn't watching the time. Only a few minutes left before we slide into our news briefing for today. We've got a couple of adverts and I'm going to come back to the music, and then as I said, we will do the record of the week as I promised, and then from the record of the week shall be right back.
In the news this week, a peer says NHS trusts are putting transgender rights before women's safety. A new report reveals the persecution of Christians in Nigeria has drastically risen. And Northern Ireland's First Minister vows to resist Westminster's abortion diktat. Hello. NHS trusts are putting transgender rights before women's safety, a peer has said. Writing in the Daily Mail, Baroness Nicholson said NHS trusts across the country have issued guidance saying patients should be accommodated based on the gender they say they identify with. This means they can pick which ward, toilets and shower facilities they use. As a consequence, Lady Nicholson said female patients have been left distraught, and many who have expressed discomfort at this turn of events have been accused of transphobia and hate crime. We have heard cases ranging from dementia patients distressed at waking up next to someone who, in their mind, looks like a man, to reports of a rape on a psychiatric unit undertaken by a biological male who identified as a woman. Despite the likely backlash, the Baroness remained undaunted. What matters more, she said, was finding a way of protecting the vulnerable. Academics suggest there may be up to 5,000 patients in the UK with prolonged disorders of consciousness, known as PDOC, such as being in a vegetative state, who are actually conscious. Neuroscientist Professor Adrian Owen, neurologist Professor Neil Scolding, and ethicist Professor John Keown contend that their research has serious implications for medical practice. They outline their findings in a letter to The Times. Remarkable research using neuroimaging has shown that about 20% of patients labelled as PDOC are in fact fully, or at least partly, conscious. However, they continued, in its latest guidance, the Royal College of Physicians does not recommend the use of such technologies to detect consciousness. They labelled the position of the health organisation as indefensible and called for an urgent review of its guidelines on scientific, ethical and legal grounds. Thousands of Nigerian Christians have been murdered or abducted by Islamic militants since the beginning of the year, a civil liberties group has reported. Inter-Society estimates that almost 3,500 Christians have been killed in Nigeria since the 1st of January, attributing the majority to extremist Fulani herdsmen. Despite almost half of the Nigerian population identifying as Christian, the country is one of the worst in the world for Christian persecution, being ranked 9th in Open Doors World Watch List. Lord Alton of Liverpool described the report as shocking and chilling. And finally, the First Minister of Northern Ireland has said he intends to fight the Secretary of State's direction to make abortions more readily available. Last month, Brandon Lewis ordered the province to make Westminster-imposed abortion regulations fully operational by the 31st of March next year, but Paul Givan has said he will contest the move. Givan made his stance clear in an interview with the BBC.
Well, I spoke to the Secretary of State and I said to him he shouldn't do this, that it was wrong for him to do it. I was disappointed whenever he proceeded in issuing that direction. We are taking legal advice now as to the implications of that legal action that he has taken and what our options are legally to resist that, and it certainly is my intention to resist what the Secretary of State has done by way of a direction, but I need to look at all of my options both politically and legally whenever it comes to this particular issue.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.
Hey there, are you looking for ways to occupy your young children during lockdown? Or are you looking for a fun, light-hearted, gentle way of discussing with them the really difficult topics concerning racism and race that are happening all around the world? Well, you can use my musical resource, Different But Alike, packed with physical activities, discussion points, scenarios, guidance, karaoke material, cartoon videos, and instrumental tracks, but based around a song with the lyrics, "Everybody's colour is a beautiful sight. No one's invisible. We all have our shine, different but alike." This resource will get you singing, moving, talking, and thinking. So head over to difficultdiscussionseasysongs.com and get your resource at an affordable price right now. See you there.
Are you planning an event? We've created a one-stop solution for all your events needs. Find vendors for different aspects of your event, from event planners to musicians, photographers, videographers, MCs, DJs, venues, equipment and more. Everything you'll need for a successful event is on the YEV app. To get started, download the app from your app store. Sign up to create your free account. Log in to your account, choose any service you want and submit your event details. Next, approve the service provider of your choice, pay for the service and you're good to go. Afterwards, confirm the completion of your event and leave a review of your service provider. The days of stressing over an upcoming event are over. Get the YEV app and easily book professional and reliable event personnel and equipment in a transparent way. YEV, here for your events.
The most powerful stories that have been told for thousands of years are going to be heard like never before. Immersive ambiance of the Holy Land. Uncompromising quality of 3D sound. 250 passionate voices. One book that shaped the history of the mankind.
Yes, you, O Lord my God, have done many wondrous deeds, and in your plans for us, there is none to equal you.
I think that was incredibly unique about this project. I've never worked on a project that has casted that many voice actors, and you know, there's a lot of incredible names, and I'm sure I'll find out once this comes out about some voice actors that were in it that will kind of boggle my mind and be like, whoa, that's really cool.
It's kind of neat to know that there's people from all over the world really involved in this project.
Join us on this breathtaking journey. Win a role in the world's biggest audio play. Take part in the contest now. The Audio Bible Super Production. Stories that unite.
The world has changed. People are no longer meeting and congregating as they normally would. We at Soul Food Gospel are acutely aware of the demand for well-managed online virtual events. We are launching a new division called Soul Food Gospel Events. This is a dedicated company with the sole purpose of managing your virtual events. We are taking our learning and technologies from the Soul Food Gospel shows, coupled with the maturity of our platforms, and for the first time ever, allowing you, the public, the opportunity to host your events via our established and robust media outlets. If you have an event of any kind that you want professionally managed and hosted, please reach out to us on +44 07960 219 366 or email us at soulfoodoffice@gmail.com. So, whether you're arranging a concert, book launch, live interviews, conferences, funerals, christenings, baby dedications, weddings, whatever your event is, if it needs to be streamed, we should be your number one choice. start right. That's not how it's supposed to start. That's better.
Is thy faithfulness.
Thought I'd slide this one into the mix. Something brand spanking new by TJ Campbell. I'm gonna put the worship window on for this one.
Shadow turning with thee, thou changest not thy compassions, they fail not. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, to me. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, to me. Summer and winter, springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join with the whole nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy and love. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, my Father. Morning by morning, new mercies I see, and all I have needed, thy hand has provided. You have been wonderful to me. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, to me. For all I have needed, thy hand has provided. You have been wonderful to me. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, to me. Oh my Lord, you're faithful, faithful. You have been so good to me. Oh my Lord, you're faithful. Lord, you've been faithful.
Gotta say, really love that jazzy joint, man.
We're gonna take a praise break right now.
Hold tight, Mr. Fegsy. What did I do now?
Halle, 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 halle.
I know, right?
Halle, 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 hallelujah.
You know, some people say I should have my own radio show where I could really show my gift of great comedic skills and stuff like that. I don't know. What do you think? Let's do this one. Hallelujah.
Don't give up when you're under the pressure.
Oh, you're watching my dance earlier on, right?
'Cause it won't be for.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
Trust in God, keep the faith, He will help you. Call on Him, He will come to your rescue. I say yeah, God answers prayer. I say yeah,
said, we do have Mr. Jabu Hlongwane. He's going to be with us from MTN's Joyous celebration. Always about 15 minutes or so away. And as I said, this summer we are launching Soul Food, the Gold series, where we pull out all the great shows from the early archives, because I know a lot of you think that the Soul Food show started last year, but we've been going from 2014. We've been providing the UK with great gospel music and great interviews, great conversation, and I am going to go back in time, dust off the archive box and pull out some of those great interviews and some of those great shows.
I say yeah. I say yeah. Let's raise the praise. I say yeah. I say yeah now. I say yeah. Let's bless his name. Yeah, yeah.
And of course, do remember the summer mix is available. Lest I forget, somebody said, wow, they really were feeling the summer mix, man. Someone went on my YouTube and they found the summer mix. It's front and center. They go, oh, I'm really feeling that summer mix, DJ Val. You take the opportunity to enjoy it as well. You can download it if you've got one of those download things from YouTube. Alternative, you go over to soulfoodgospel.com, look for the downloads page, right? I believe, if I'm not wrong, I've allowed you to be able to download it as it is. So many ways that you can enjoy it, even if you're on Spotify. But don't tell them.
Don't.
Old time Miss Genevieve. Say yes. Yes to your will, yes to your way. Keaton Goulds tells me it's only 18 minutes past the top of the hour. 12 minutes away from our guest. I remember I said I was going to do it this way, right? So I'm going to do the record of the week, which happens to be Thank You, which is the current single by Joyous Celebration, MTN Joyous Celebration, as they celebrate 25 years of producing great gospel music. And then straight after that, we're going to slide straight into the interview. I'm telling you, you're going to really enjoy it. The interview was recorded a little bit earlier on. So we'll go over to the VT for that and sit back and then get ready to enjoy yourself. I think what we're going to do it right now, actually. The engineers have told me I should press the button right now. So we're going to go straight into the record of the week and then straight into our interview.
The Soul Food Show record.
I grew up in Johannesburg, and later on I moved to KwaZulu-Natal, which is a province like 6-7 hours away from Johannesburg, and that music started. I never saw myself as a musician. I loved music, listening to music, particularly jazz, because it was a thing in Johannesburg during my upbringing.
Yeah.
And when I got to the other province, it was a different setup altogether, because Johannesburg is the hustle and the bustle of economy.
Yes.
So everybody gets in that space, they try to make a living. And when I went to the next province, KwaZulu-Natal, in Durban, it was slow and slowest. So
it's like the country, right? That you move out of the urban setup and you move to the country. It's the same here. Pastor Jabu, it's exactly the same thing here. You move to the suburbs and everybody has more time for you.
Yes.
So we understand.
Yeah. So when I got there and with my family, we because of boredom, really, I picked up a guitar from a next door neighbor who taught me a few chords on the guitar.
Wonderful.
And then from time to time in weekends, we would go ask an opportunity to sing in a wedding or in a funeral or whatever gathering. As long as there's a gathering, we would ask for an opportunity.
I love that, you know.
Come on.
You guys just gate crashed everywhere, just like, hey.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
And I remember one time we were just walking, and we with my brother and my younger sister.
Yes, sir.
And we were a group of people. They were like, we're asking them, what is going on? They say, there's a gospel music competition here. We're like, can we enter? They say, yes. So we entered and got position 1.
Yep.
And the prize was exciting because it was a tin. A little tin of biscuits. That's what we want. So we continued on our way eating the biscuits. We got home with no biscuit left.
No biscuits, no prize.
It was just a story. And then we finished my high school, and when I started my university, it's then that I met my partners that we started Joyous with, Lindelani and Mtunzi Namba. We met when I was at university. And one of them, Lindelani, was a record company manager. Sony Music started in South Africa. He was working there. And Mtunzi Namba was a radio announcer. And I finished university, and I was a lecturer at college. During the time when I was at college, as a lecturer, that's when we started Joyous Celebration. But what the reason why we started was when the transition from apartheid to democracy happened.
Yes.
Three of us sat down and said, this we did not see. The transition was so peaceful, you know. And South Africa was exuberant with relief because we anticipated a conflict between the white folks and the black folks.
Naturally,
So,
yeah.
Yes. After that, we said, no, let's do a show because we're musicians and also we are believers. Let's do a gospel show to say to God, thank you. And we called the show Joyous Celebration. And it was staged in 1996. Wow. And today we are sitting at Joyous 25.
We thank God. That is absolutely awesome. But it's very, very true because, you know, people are growing up and they don't realize there was this whole struggle in South Africa with the whole apartheid regime that was happening, and you know there were certain powers outside of South Africa that was supporting and promoting this particular way of living. I'm Nigerian. I grew up in Nigeria, and I remember there was the closest that we got to understanding a little bit about how South Africa was we read Tell Freedom, which was by Peter Abraham. Peter Abraham.
Yes.
It was required reading. By then, and I remember there was 2 versions. There was the small one, then there was the big one that went, and I don't know why I ended up reading the big one. But it was just really, to really understand that a group of people could be treated in that particular way. But within that, you saw, and you may be able to communicate that better than what I ever will. But there was just. There seemed to be, even under the oppression, there was hope and there was joy that one day this will change.
Oh, absolutely. There was hope because you see when you don't have a choice, and when you look on the one side, you see things going down south, and you not surviving at all. But when you look on the other side, you see a Goliath of a circumstance and situation.
Come on.
But you choose and say, you know what? Like the four lepers who sat and say, if we sit here, we're going to die.
Yes.
But if we go over there, we might leave. You know? So they went over there and found a table set for them. It's the situation that made us say, you know what? We cannot let this continue. Rather, we face the Goliath, and maybe we shall leave. And indeed, with God on our side, we made it, and apartheid was dismantled, and we're sitting here, we free. We look back and say thank you, which is part of the single that we released of saying thank you, God, because we never thought we would get here, but we did.
Oh, amen. And it is a real testament to what God can do. And you know how, you know, again, it's very akin to, you know, a lot of our Bible stories. The children of Israel, they were in bondage, and then they get delivered, and, you know, then they're then set free to begin to find their own path, and set this history that we have in the Bible that, you know, they wouldn't have made if they were still in bondage in Egypt.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and I think, you know, for us especially, you know, looking at, you know, from Nigeria towards South Africa, we look and you know, we always look and say, wow, you know, this is what you can do, I guess, if you do get things going in the right direction. You know, you can have a real it can be a real vibrant community. And I know lots of Nigerians, but in fact, South Africa became quite a big melting pot for all nations, really. There's a lot of people that you know, it wasn't just South Africans. There were people from all over that were just coming, like, you know, moving into the region, weren't they, post the whole apartheid era?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you come to South Africa, it's a melting pot. Not only Africans, but people who are from Europe and other parts of the world. It's like New York, because it's a plethora of colors and languages and styles and all kinds of things that are happening here, but all sitting on the bedrock of the indigenous African culture, which is very intriguing when you experience it. So God has been good to this country.
Yeah, I definitely have to book my ticket and come over and check out
Yeah,
South Africa.
come on, man. Come on, you'll enjoy.
I got close. I got to Zimbabwe. Sorry, to Zambia. I went to Zambia a few years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was close, but not close enough.
Yeah, you were. It will happen, I believe.
I believe it will, sooner than even I think I realize as well. I think I'm in this mode now where in life you just say, come on, let's just do it. So don't just say it. Put your words into action, and, you know, faith without works is,
you know.
I'm gonna put some works in. So all right, so 1996 the first Joyous comes out, and you know, Nelson Mandela's been released by then. So there's this whole great big thing, I guess, about you guys trying to celebrate you know, not just the transition, but you've got this release and you have this new hope. So what was it like trying to put that first concert together? What, you know, with your three partners, the three other guys and everybody else, what was that like, that experience?
The early beginnings, the small beginnings were crazy in that we did not know what we were doing.
I love that.
Like, we did not. All we knew was that we just wanted to do one show. And there was a demand when people called and they met us in the streets. They're like, when is the next one? They were not asking if we were doing the next one. They were saying when. So we had to go back and like, what are we going to do? These people demand this thing. Wow. So we went and sat down, and it is then that we said, it's going to be difficult because we don't have funding to do the next one, because we saw how expensive was the first one.
Yeah.
You know, so what we did, we ran around, we talked to business people, we talked to corporate, we did not get any help. We ended up with maybe a little something here, a little something there. We were able to buy food for lunch, or book a bus for this one, or book a hotel room for that one. It was really like that in the beginning. And even the show itself, we were not aware, or we didn't know what we were doing. So we just threw everything we thought of in terms of the songs or the performance or whatever. We just threw everything in there, which was a good thing, because it was after that next one where we sat down and said, this worked, that didn't work. This worked, this didn't work. So the now coming alive.
Yeah.
On the third one, we were sure in terms of how we're going to do this moving forward.
Wow.
And then here's why. On the fourth one, corporate paid attention and they said, look, we'd like to throw in a little something. Then we started touring now, moving from Johannesburg to other parts of South Africa. Now we are sitting on 25. And the sponsorship we have with MTN, the biggest cell phone company, we've been with them for the past 15 years in what we are doing, which is an amazing thing. So we're excited. That is why we are called MTN Joy Celebration. Past 15 years running with them. And a good thing that happened last year was getting on in a relationship with Universal Music and Motown Gospel, which then put footprint overseas.
Wow. I mean, I just got lost when you said it was supposed to have been a one-off. Like, yeah, let's do this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just
and we didn't know.
We'll just do the one. And it's true because, when you think you're doing one, your mindset is different. You throw everything into it. You go, okay, maybe maybe I'll spend a bit that I don't have, but it's fine. It's one-off. We thank God and we just want to celebrate. But then, when somebody says, actually, let's see what you can do in a second iteration, the first thing you think about is, my God, all that we spent and the time that we took.
But I also emphasize that we did not know what we were doing.
Yeah.
In what I'm saying lies a plethora of principles.
Yes.
Because when God sends you out to do something, he does not tell you, what is it?
Come on.
Don't be afraid to go do what you think God has sent you to do, even if you do not know.
Beautiful.
The key for you is to do. When you do, God comes in and shows you how to. I imagine a lot of people are afraid to do things because they've never seen those things being done. They do not know how to do those things. God puts people and things along the way to help you do when you begin to do. So don't be afraid of going to do what you do not know. Many success stories come from that space where everybody who did what they are doing and are known for that, they did not do what they were doing. But all you have on the inside is the knowledge that you need to do this. Then you go do it. God does the rest.
You just preached there, I think we can collect the offering, we can do the benediction, and then we can send people home. Honestly, Pastor Jabu, I think, you are preaching what we really push a lot over here on our channels as well, and it is about doing. I was joking about saying, oh, let's go to South Africa, but unless you actually put those wheels in motion, you will never realize what the flight is like, what the journey is like, how you get out of the airport, and you just don't know. But once you do, and it's almost like as if you guys had some great faith. You did it the first time with great faith, and then when God said do it again, I think that faith move was probably even harder, considering.
Oh yeah. The resistance, and people who look at you and they're like, what do they think they are doing? Who do they think? And then people criticizing you.
Yes.
We had a lot of that. A lot of people thought, and they told us in our face, they like, you think you're American, you're trying to do an American thing, it won't work here, because the format of our presentation is more American choirs with the soloist and conductors set up. So they were criticizing that, which helped us. Criticism helps you. Because it makes you relook what you are doing so that you are, because sometimes they criticize you, they are able to see what you can't see. So what you look at their criticism and check, this is the thing, check if it's true what they are saying, so that you'll be able to adjust, to remove even, to strengthen some of the things, so that because if you don't receive criticism, there's nowhere you're going, man. You're not going anywhere. Forget it. Forget it.
Pastor, I always say I get worried when everybody says everything is good, it's brilliant, everything is okay, because you know, and I know that you know, you can look at a production, and when people go, oh, Pastor Jabu, oh, Joy, oh, it was amazing, and you're thinking to yourself, it was good, but I know that there was some loopholes in there that could be fixed. You know, and you always respect people that come and give you that balance. In fact, they don't even need to be balanced. Sometimes you're right. If they just say, look, you're trying to sing like so and so, and so that didn't really work. That's a good point.
So you go back and check.
Yeah, you know, you go back and check. You know, and it's true. Nobody likes to be criticized.
Not nice.
It's not nice. It's not nice. It's really not nice. But you know, but you
need it.
We do, and especially as believers, you know, Jesus never had an easy sweep. You know, they didn't fall at his feet and go, oh, Messiah, 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 Messiah. He was wounded for our transgressions.
He ended up on the cross.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So we do need that balance in terms of being able to I think it's being able to take it and know what to do with it. I think that's the challenge, I think, sometimes. And you know, judging by, you know, how your group has developed and grown, you've been able to take on those the feedback, and you've now been able to apply it to this wonderful product that we see. And I use product in you know, just in terms of a marketing sense, because you know, it's very interesting what you said, you know, with it being it looks very American-y kind of thing with the, you know, with the choirs and the big productions. I mean, it's staggering. You know, if you know, we shall show some VT in terms of what you guys do. You know, are there any videos of the very, very first one that you did that are out there? I didn't see. I'd love to be able to do a comparison. You know.
No.
There's none.
No, we didn't do videos then because we were not intending recording it. You know, the first one, we did a show. And besides people asking when the next one was going to be, they also wanted the music.
Yes.
So what we did, we went into studio and recorded the music that we were performing live.
Yes.
So the very first one is not live. It was programmed. It was in the studio because people were demanding that music. Only on the second one where we decided, you know what, the best thing is to record the DVD and record the music, because it is evident that people want the music, you know. So, but the first one does not have any live recording or DVD, nothing.
Yeah, and going back then, video wasn't such a big thing for the internet and for sharing. It really was more about the music, you know. I think we just we hadn't even got to iTunes or anything fancy like that. It was just you know, CD and things like that. So okay, that then makes it. I keep forgetting that, you know, you guys are spanning decades. You know, this is not.
We are old.
Hey, listen, I'm familiar with the era very. I know exactly what I was doing. I hadn't quite met Jesus yet, but you know, I know what music was like back then. In fact, even you buying CDs here in the UK, for you to get music from, you know, from America, the price was just so prohibitive. First of all, so you know, people weren't really. If you did want something, you know, I don't know what it would have been there, but it's like 25 pounds for a CD. You know, now you can buy tracks for 79 pence, you know, which is, you know, the whole market has changed. But again, that's quite interesting, that because you've moved with the times, you know, as you've said that, you've realized that, you know, there is this big market. Well, I think you're a little bit ahead of the time, actually, because if you started doing live, you know, live albums and then pushing out the DVDs by then, you almost preempted the whole YouTube era, to be honest, sir.
Oh, absolutely. We were the first in this country to record live. You know, the recording live thing was not there. Worse, the recording live with DVD in there. We were the first when we did the second and the third.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So there's just so many different trailblazers. See, that's why I just love God. There's just, for me, I'm just excited to know you kind of like jump into this area and you pioneer this, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
and what you do when you're a pioneer, you set a standard. And
Oh
that's,
yeah.
and yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah, please, just elaborate a little bit more on that, because I know there's many artists out there that have now followed your format as well.
Yeah.
Mm,
Our biggest thing was not even to pioneer anything.
mm,
We don't even look at ourselves as trailblazers or anything like that.
mm.
We just do what God has set us to do. That's all. We just
Amen.
give consent in every space where we are. It's only when you look back where you see what you have done. But even now, when we do what we do it like it's for the first time. That is why we deliver excellently all the time when we do what we do. We don't want to do half. Excellence is the buzzword in our space, because God is excellent. There's no way we lower the standard. When you do a show, when you come to see our show live,
Mm.
you see exactly what you see on the DVD. The band, the sound, the lights, the presentation, everything is exactly, or we don't do it.
Mm.
That's how we work.
Wow, 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 wow. And it's true, actually, because the more I look back at things, and I just see it's this whole, and I think the bit that I think really amazes me and says, this is Africa. This is, in, I don't think there were too many people doing huge live recordings. Even back then,
Oh,
more
yeah.
things were more studio. So, making this happen, I think, yes, it may well be first in South Africa, and, maybe in other parts of Africa as well. But I think even around the world, for you to actually use that and use that as a template for how you're going to drive God's ministry, it is pretty staggering to watch and see. And I have a great interest in these things. I'm a sound engineer in one of my other jobs. Obviously, I run what we do here at Soul Food Gospel. So you watch the visual presentation of some of the stuff, and we're just going to run to a little bit of VT, because I've got some VT of the latest single as well. That's Joyous celebration, and then maybe we can talk about some of the successes where people have gone on to kind of like live their own, further their dream outside the organization.
Yeah. Bet. What we do, we do auditions, and we recruit from churches, and sometimes we get people referring people to us. So when we need a lot of people, what we do, we open up auditions throughout the country so that we get a lot of people. But when we need just a few, we just take from people that are referred to us. But also when we do auditions, we normally find more than what we need.
Okay.
And then we keep the names there in the database. So we need one or two or three. It's then that we are able to say from the database, we pick so and so, put them in. But there's always people who want to do auditions. There's always people who send their videos. There's always people who send their voice, singing stuff. So it depends on what we need at that particular time.
So you're almost like the very first pop idol then, really, if you think about it.
Oh,
People were sending in their submissions right before. People, they send the video in and they try to be, a bit unique and a bit this and a bit that. So you guys were already running that before this whole idea,
absolutely. Yeah, that's how it is. So we've been doing that for a long time before it became like famous and people liked it and jumped into it and programs were made of it. We've been doing it all the time.
Yeah. Just as a thought, had you ever thought about even televising that part of your of the process? A bit of a behind the scenes, if people wanted to see. I don't know, you might have done something like that already, but just the thought just came to me.
Yes, we have. When we celebrated 20 years, we partnered with the top television network, we recorded a documentary sort of that takes the journey from the beginning until we are on the 19th installment. So it was on television every Sunday for almost the whole year, the journey to Joyous 2020. And that 20th installment was recorded live at a stadium in front of thousands, packed up stadium of around 60, 70,000. The show started at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and ended up in the morning, 6 o'clock the next day.
What?
We recorded a double album there because we brought singers from Joyous 1 until Joyous 19. So we had the whole night. You know, it was crazy.
Wow.
Joyous.
Wow. I just can't imagine that, you know, just anybody that got the tickets to, was it like a free event that, you know, if you had a ticket, you go, they had to, you know, pay to come to the recording?
You know, people bought tickets. People flew from Nigeria. They flew from Kenya. They flew from Ireland, London, United States. They flew from all over the world.
Wow. Wow.
And they bought tickets.
Wow. Just to be part of this celebration of this joyous celebration. I can believe it. I really can. Because if you see things, you say, you've got the opportunity to be part of that, then of course, you know, you never know, the camera might pan on you, you know, you're there.
You know, even when we did the 20th one, 21st one in the Potter's House in Dallas.
Yeah.
You know, standing on stage and looking at the Africans came from all over the continent. When you look on the left, there's flags. They had flags of their countries.
Beautiful.
From Nigeria, Zimbabwe, all over, Swaziland, Cameroon, people who speak French. They spread themselves all over the place. And the Americans were shocked because they'd never seen anything like this. The bishop himself was like, what is going on? You know, because what happened was when the music starts, people rushed to the stage. You know,
dance.
Africans don't sit and watch. They want to be part of it. And it's not an American thing. And they got a shock of their lives. And we had a good time and we enjoyed ourselves. That was amazing for us.
I have experienced that. It's funny, as you just said that, thank you, Lord. I have experienced that at the very first time. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the names of the people that came, but we had an event at my home church, which is Rack City Church, which is run by our Bishop John Anthony Francis. And he had, we've got quite a nice auditorium. So we had a group that were coming over from South Africa to run some events. I think maybe Benjamin Dube was supposed to have been there, but there were some names that I'm terrible at names. So that's why I'm not even trying to pronounce your surname. I'm stopping at Pastor Jabu because that is good. But if I try to get the Hlongwane, I will just destroy. I will destroy your name. You will say, this guy, please leave now. So, and exactly what you said was exactly what you said that happened. So, you know, at churches, you have your security, your protocols, you know, they're in front to stop everything happening. And as soon as I've forgotten the lady's name, I know my South African friends in church are going to kill me because I've forgotten her name. But there's this young lady that came on. It's a little bit short, glasses, but just full of the spirit. As soon as she came, everybody rushed to the front and they all started dancing. They all knew the dance that they were doing to the song. Everybody dancing together. It was a sight to behold. I was like, what's going on? So I know what you're saying. The Potter's House must have been stunned.
It was crazy, but we had a great time.
Yeah. To God be the glory. It's interesting, you know, when you take your culture and you export it into somewhere else, and they look and they think, yeah, maybe we're missing the trick here. Maybe we need to be doing this too.
But what interests them, though, also is that when they hear a language they do not know, and rhythms that they do not know, but the package is in such a way that they can relate to it, because we make it contemporary and use instruments they are used for, and we infuse the music with melodies that they are familiar with, so they
Yes.
can do it even though they do not know the language. So
Yeah.
it's also an interesting thing for them.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing, and the truth of the matter is, I've heard people say, even with, by virtue of the fact I play some Nigerian songs, and there's some worship songs, different artists that sing in their own dialects, and people always
Yes.
say, even though I didn't quite get the words, but I felt the presence of God
Oh,
in
absolutely.
in the song. I
Yeah.
just felt it. I don't know, but I didn't know what they were saying, but I just felt
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
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 Because God cannot be limited to language.
Come on.
God transcends language and understanding. He ministers through anything and everything. So
Hallelujah.
if you speak a language I don't understand, I'm able to hear him and
Mm.
connect to what he's saying, even without understanding the language.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like you go to this place where, and it's true, language, I can't wait to get to heaven and see what it's, well, I can wait, actually. Don't let me say I can't wait. I can wait. I've been told off about that before, but just to be in that place where really and truly it's not about the words that are spoken, but it's that connection with the Spirit that really takes you to that place of worship or that place of communion with God. So that's a real special thing. So who I mean, in the 25 years, I'm sure I saw some names, but I'll leave you to do justice to the names properly of people that have been part of the group, maybe who started off, who have now gone off and had their own careers. Maybe if you could just run through a few of those names for us.
Okay. The music industry, particularly in South Africa, there's no genre, there's no space where you will not find a person that came from Joyous Celebration.
Yeah.
That's how intense the training is given, including overseas. A lot of them are on Lion King in London and in the US, or even in Germany. They are all over the place. They got the training space. And the biggest thing for us is to get them to stand on their own 2 feet and establish themselves as artists all over the world with the training that we provide. I mean, we got a whole lot of them from you mentioned Benjamin Dube. Benjamin Dube was on Joyous 1, the very first one.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He was on Joyous. So we have a whole lot of them. There's Ntokozo Mbambo and her husband. The husband was music director at Joyous, and Ntokozo came and they met there. They got married. They have their own company. They have their own artists in their company. A whole lot of Brian was on Lion King in London for a long time. He's a solo artist. Is doing R&B, because we don't necessarily force them or channel them towards gospel music. Others come out and become other things other than musicians. There's one who is actually now on national television, who is a news anchor, who came from Joyous. He's a news anchor. He sings when he likes, but his talent was discovered on Joyous, that he's eloquent, he can speak well. So we channeled him that direction. When there's something to be spoken, whether interviews and stuff, we put him at the forefront. So now he's a news anchor. A whole lot of them come in for singing, but we groom and position them in their skills. For instance, the uniform of the choir is designed by one of them who came only to sing. Now he designs the choir's uniform.
Wow. That is awesome. I've heard of a lot of things before, but I think that bit you've just got me there, because I'm thinking he's become a news anchor, based on the fact that he started off in this Pastor Jabu. I was thinking, it doesn't. I have more of a feel, right, that Joyous Celebration is more of a theater, kind of like a theater company. It just doesn't feel like it's a choir, or I know you've already said it's more than that, but it feels more like it's a theater, kind of like a theater group you know, with these different people that are coming in. But I think you just trumped it there with this guy that's a newscaster or a news anchor, man. That is absolutely awesome. That really is. That is awesome. That is
We
awesome.
refer to ourselves as an academy.
Aha.
Because the person, for instance, that takes care of the catering when we rehearse or travel is a member of the choir who showed interest in food.
Yes.
So we say, okay, because you're interested in food, do this. So they get paid for singing, they get paid for providing food. And a person that is interested in admin stuff now is responsible for dealing with the admin of the choir. So they make money through singing. They also make money through the admin. A person that is interested in the technical, they sing or play. For instance, there's a drummer who is more technical. Our drummer get paid for playing the drums, but also is also involved in the production. So when they come out, they're able to make a living through other things other than just singing. For us, it's very important because, like I said before, if you lock yourself into a description of what you tried to do and do well, you fail to move on to other bigger things. I would imagine if Jesus saw himself raising the dead or walking on water and defined himself with that, he would not have gotten to the cross. So for us, is to go and move you from what brought you to the place. Because most of the time, what brings you to the place is not what you came for in the place.
Come on. Now you're preaching.
So it's important for you to come to the place because of what brought you to the place. But wait for God and expect from God in the place for what He has brought you to the place for, so that you are able to move to your destiny, because your destiny is not in these little successes that bind you and imprison you along the way to your destiny. I came out as a teacher. I was a teacher at college. I was a lecturer at college.
Yeah.
And I did that well. But if I had locked myself there, I would still be there doing that. But God is putting me in platforms that are bigger, even better, because I moved from there and not defined myself with that. I write music, I sing, but I'm not a musician. I tell people they get confused. I'm not a musician. I do music. You can't define me with that because it has a tendency to lock me up in there. I do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I like how God says that I am. You can attach anything to that because I am a father, I'm a provider, I'm a protector, I am, that's who I am. So a lot of people get locked up in being a provider. A lot of men don't feel like their manhood is worth anything when they fail to provide now because the job is lost. So, but if you understand that you are more than just a provider, you will stand with other things that you are and what you can do. So, this is how we teach them. That is how we put the platform of Joyous in order to equip them to move from singing and becoming other things that God has put into them.
Wow, that is absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I should join. Pastor. Maybe I need to send my. Should I send my video in? I can't sing, but I'll send my video in.
You'll find something to do it.
I'll just send my video in, and Father, please, Lord, the I am that I am. You said we can do all things. I'm doing it, Lord. I'm doing it. Father, let them have leniency on me. Even if I'm singing in the back, it's okay. They don't need to put me in the front. I'm always trying to get some gig somewhere with some people, but it's okay. I'll stick to radio. That's what I do. Radio, TV. I'm okay with that. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking. I mean, talking. There's so much we could say just in terms of even your achievements. I was about to talk about awards and things like that. The South African Music Awards. You guys clean up pretty much regularly, right?
Yes. You know what? We've stopped entering awards things. We don't do that because we find ourselves getting into competition with the kids we produce from Joyous. So we move from awards, we don't enter awards anymore.
Wow. Wow.
We let the young people get in there because it means a lot to them. For us, our cupboards are filled with these awards. They don't mean much anymore. We need to let the young people get into that space.
What? That is just such a beautiful sentiment, you know. I think about our contemporaries out there in the world who are still, you know, producing albums to win, to, you know, your Grammys or wherever. And don't get me wrong, if you're doing a body of work, it's entirely up to you. But I also think that you have that right to say, I would like to be excused going forward, to allow somebody else to be able to win. And I think that is just so Christ-like. But it encourages. But I mean, imagine, right? It's somebody who's part of your group, and then they're going up against you. You already feel defeated, already, don't you? Kind of think, 25 years versus my 1 year. No.
And also, if by any chance they win, they think they are something they are not really.
Oh, come on! Now you're preaching. Now you're preaching. Now you're preaching.
Oh, I beat so and so. I won over so and so. But you're not that. You're not that great.
Yeah.
Remove yourselves.
Oh, that pride enters your heart, right? Like,
Understand?
That's
how we see it.
Oh, you know, that's very, very deep what you just said there, you know. Very, 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 very deep.
Thanks,
because
man.
It is very, very easy for, you know, I use this phrase, Pastor Jabu, you begin to believe your own press, your own hype.
Oh, yeah. Yes. You become your own fan.
Oh.
You become, you buy into your own, and it kills you. It kills you because you fail to see beyond you. And then you walk with a world in your head that is not corresponding to the reality of the world that really is out there.
Yeah.
You can't then stay humble. You can't be Christ-like when you do that.
Oh.
Very
You
difficult.
can't. You can't. You really, 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 really can't. And the truth of the matter is, yes, you have the training of what the organization has given you, and whether you've been part of Joyous or you're not, but you don't have the experience.
Oh, yes.
And that is key to anything that you do. You have to have the experience. Experience teaches you. You have
to get it.
Yes. Yeah. You know, you have that of, you know, what happens when the tour bus doesn't reach and this doesn't happen? You know, how do you keep yourself in a place where you go out and you do a great job in terms of reaching your audience, or they don't begin to feel the negativity because you had a hard day getting there, you know? Those things are not learned on one album, you know, whether it be double platinum or not. It comes from the experience and teaching and mentoring as well, and understanding that, you know, these things do take time. You know, they do. Yeah. They really, really do. They really, really do. Pastor, we have virtually come to the end of this wonderful conversation that I'm having with you. And I just really feel that we could just go on forever, because you're dropping these nuggets, and I'm getting excited. And I have to understand that, you know, I know that you have other commitments and other things to do, but just one last question. One of the things that, you know, I looked at the latest album, right? And I thought, that's a lot of tracks in that album. Number one, people do albums with 4, 5, 6, 7, and they get away with it. But this is, I don't know if you put it on CD, whether or not it would be 3 CDs or 2 CDs or what. But why do you go for, you know, this volume of music that you put into, you know, into this album, or into your albums, I should say?
It comes from the space of gratitude. God has given us much. We cannot give less. His grace, his walk with us, and we're not approaching it from the commercial side. You know, we approach this from the abundance of what we've been given and the abundance of what has been expected, not only by God, but the people that support what we do. We cannot hold back. So, but also on the other side, when we look back at it, we land on the leg that makes this project stand to say, we will give you more than enough at all times, so that when you come to our shows, when we do our concerts, we don't do less than 4 hours. Other artists don't do that. We give you more than 4 hours of music.
Wow.
You will come out tired, you know.
4 hours. That's like 3 concerts in. Well, I know some concerts are like an hour with the main people when they come on. So that's like 4 concerts in one sitting. Okay.
Yes, we don't do less than 4 hours of same energy pushed throughout those hours. Nobody does that. We'll give you more than just. We once released around 40 songs. One project, 2 albums and 2 DVDs, one project. Last year, we released 2 DVDs and 2 albums. One DVD, worship and album worship, and another of praise, album and DVD. We always give more than enough. It's our culture. We built that into what we do because we believe that God has given us much. We want to give much also to our people.
Wow. Well, all I can say is we're really grateful from this end, and all the more reason now I need to come to South Africa and catch a live show there. I know you're probably going to find your way to London at some point, but I think catching a live show at Joburg in one of those huge stadiums, man, I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open for the next available concert. I think that would be a good excuse to come, actually. Not that I need an excuse, but I think that that would be because I'm off to Joyous celebration.
It would be great to host you, man. It would be great.
It will be absolutely wonderful to see you as well. Pastor Pastor Jabu, I'm going to have to obviously let you go about your father's business. I know that you have much to do. It's been a real pleasure and honor having you here. But just before you go, how can people connect with you on social media, via your website and all that good stuff?
We are on all platforms. We are on Insta, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook. Facebook is where we live. If you go My Joyous Celebration, you will find all the details of whatever we do. That's the best place to go. So if you just go My Joyous Celebration, you will find us there. We are grateful to your viewers, to everybody in London. We actually were booked to be in London in 2020, and then COVID. We are just waiting for things to ease up. We are already booked for London. We are coming. I will let you know the dates when they settle down. So we appreciate it, and we can't wait to come see you guys in London. And God bless you. We thank all the people that support us, the messages they send. If you want to send a message of encouragement or whatever, we are on info@joyous.co.za. info@joyous.co.za. And may God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
God bless you. Thank you so much indeed. Pastor Jabu Hlongwane. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you did.
Right. Oh, praise the Lord. I'm feeling the South African anointing is hitting me. Praise the Lord. God bless you. Thank you so much indeed, Pastor Jabu of Joyous Celebration, as we celebrate 25 years of them producing great gospel music. Take good care. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you.
Every day from the time I open my eyes, I have a choice. I choose where my mind goes or remains. Every day from the time I open my eyes, using my thoughts and emotions, your misguided truths seek to entice me into thinking that you know best. On days when I'm focused, my thoughts propel me into my destiny, releasing an energy so strong nothing in this world can hinder me. When my defenses are low, you lay waiting to pounce, planting lies and suggestions that drag me so low, it's hard to see anything good from where I stand. For years you were the boss of me, ruling and bullying me. For years you lied to me, telling me nobody loved me. For years you comforted me with words that only hurt me. Your intention never to let me go, but to steal my identity. But your mistake was to underestimate me, to believe you would always control me. You see, every day from the time I open my eyes, I have a choice. And today I choose wisely. Today and every day, I choose life and the source from which abundant life flows. Wonderfully and fearfully made, I am rich with vision, loaded with purpose. I am uniquely defined, and I am destined to soar. Choosing life over death, good over bad, positive over negative, I tear down your trophies, taking back my authority to think for myself, blocking all your negative mental strategies. I'm not just a conqueror, I am more than. I'm the head, not the tail. I'm a winner, not a loser. I decree and declare what my life will be like, taking direction from God above, from where my help comes from. I renew my mind daily in God and His word. I take captive every thought that carries your traits and your lies. Your misguided truths won't confuse me. Your unwanted suggestions, they don't fool me. Like a roaring lion, you seek to devour me. But as the child of a king, I will destroy you. I choose hope over defeat. I choose faith over doubt. I choose love over hate and truth over lies. Every day from the time you open your eyes, you have a choice. You choose where your mind goes or remains. You are stronger than you realize, beautiful inside and out. You are one of a kind, not a mistake. You are mine. You were created in love, uniquely defined. You are the child of a king. My dear child, you are mine. Every day from the time you open your eyes, I am there watching and waiting, never leaving or forsaking. Take your lead from me. Build your hopes on me. My dear child, put your trust in me. Every day from the time you open your eyes, you have a choice.
Let's go.
Well, what can I say? That was an absolutely insightful time with Pastor Jabu.
Woke up this morning.
I don't know, I just felt that I was being educated. It didn't feel like an interview. This was just me understanding this process. And I don't know, I just really felt God was speaking about so many different things during that. But just to understand the length and the breadth of what it is that they've tried to achieve, from it being something that starts out as a one-off, we just want to do this, but you know, they didn't understand, you know, how it was going to be received, or they weren't aware of what was going to happen. And imagine, you know, you do a product or you do something, right, and you know, you do it unto God. It was a glorification, it was a time of celebration, as they quite rightly said. And then to do it, and you know, as Pastor Jabu said, they weren't even too sure what they were doing. Then to do it and then have an outcry from the people to say, oh, look, this was great, we need more. And, you know, going from 96 until 2021 and, you know, just really seeing the evolution and the growth. It just goes to show you can never, ever despise small beginnings, but you have to start. And that is the key to a lot of things. I maintain, especially on this show, we always say you've got to start. Don't waste any time. You've got to start. Start it off first, and then by God's grace, you know, something would definitely come up a little bit later on. So, well, not something would definitely come up a little bit later on, but you know, you grow and you develop, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the Soul Food Gold shows. I want to show you what happened way back then, and that you will be able, you know, you'll be able to see some of the growth and development that I've had as a, you know, as a presenter, and the show has had as well, but also give you the opportunity to you know, to archive the stuff. But listen, great interview. It will run again tomorrow. I do apologize. There was a few technicals on YouTube. I think I know the reason why. And to be honest, this is one of the times that I say I have permission from Warner Brothers and from Universal Music to interview to interview my guests, because they are aligned with Universal Music and Warner Brothers. Is it Warner Brothers Gospel? One of the two. So I have full permission. All right, this is not just me. I've reached out to somebody. I had full permission. Their media and their marketing team reached out to me, but I'm going to fix that for the repeat on tomorrow morning. If you are going to watch it, we'll go out live again on the Soul Food channels, and of course we always chop it up and put it in Instagram as well, so it will be available probably in 3 parts in Instagram too. But I want to take the opportunity to reach out to anybody who is out there who doesn't know Jesus as their Lord and Savior. Why is it important? You probably wonder. Well, one of the things, if you watch the interview, you could see that there are some things, even though you do them, but you just really don't know the outcome of those things. And that's a bit, you know, it's a bit like when you accept Jesus. You're guaranteed by what we tell you by faith that you will make heaven, and that's great. But you don't know the real outcome and the impact of what you have. And case in point, I think of me. When I got saved, I had no idea that in, I don't know how many years later on, you know, from 1998, 97 when I got saved, in 2014 I'd go onto the radio station, and in 2021 I'd be here with you now post-pandemic doing this radio show, reaching out to people all around the whole wide world. I had no idea. And that's kind of like what it's like when you make this decision to follow Christ. You really don't know what doors God is going to open for you, but he is going to open doors for you. So if you are out there and you don't know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, what I would say is, if you repeat this prayer after me, that is going to get you saved first and foremost, which is a good thing. Let me just change that screen. And then
The Soul Food Show, Record of the Week.
Not what we want to do, beg your pardon there, don't want to scare anybody. Fans in that shot, which I don't like. Yeah, that's better. So I can redirect you to my home church, which is Rack City Church, where you can get some great training in the decision that you're going to make, right? Because there's no point doing it and then walking away. We want to make sure that you are part of the family of God, and that happens through training, through development, and through these wonderful courses that we hold at my home church, which is Rack City Church. So if you are out there, just repeat this prayer after me. Thank you, Lord, for loving me. Thank you, Jesus, for dying on the cross for me. I believe that you are the Son of God, and that you died and rose again to remove all of my sins, past, present, and future. I was a sinner, but I really want to be born again. Lord, send your Holy Spirit into my heart. Help me to stop sinning. I have believed in my heart. I've made a confession out of my mouth. And on my confession on this day, I am now saved in Jesus' name. Say amen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the family of God. As I said, please go over to www.ruaccitychurch.org/new believer, which just happens to be you today. And a member of the discipleship care team is going to reach out to you. And of course, your boy DJ Val would love to know that you've made that decision. My details always pop up on the screen. Feel free to message me on +44 7960 219 366, which is the also secret WhatsApp number. Alternatively, if you feel like it, you can email me at soulfoodoffice@gmail.com. But once again, welcome to the family of God.
All I need is more of you, and I'll be better. Umutima wandu kabila imwe, strong bond pali imwe na ine. You the source of my strength and oh, you the only God I know.
Don't worry, I know how to fix that problem. I just need to chop it. I think what happened was, I think it was the song that was in there, that the video to the song that kind of like triggered the YouTube police. I don't normally get caught by them, so which is pretty cool for me. Shouts going out there to a music birthday out of the spirit. Thank you so much indeed for your comments. Thanks to my longtime friend, Mr. Jabu Gambian. God bless you. I think he's out there in Brunswick or somewhere like that in the US of A. I love what he said about, you know, they don't enter the competitions anymore. They just gave that all up now. So, Lord,
I thank you for another day.
I think that's you know, that's a great thing, and it's true. After a while, I guess when you've won so many, they don't carry as much, you know, prestige as before. You know, when you win the first one or the second one or the third one, but you know, when you just keep going on and just winning every year, and you know, it's so much so, some people might not even want to go up against you because of, oh God, you're just gonna win, aren't you? Wouldn't that be great if somebody said, actually, this year in this category, I'm not going to take it. Whoever came second, I'd like you to give it to them.
Hallelujah, Lord, I worship you. Hallelujah, Lord, I give you praise. Hallelujah, there is none like you. Yeah.
Thank you so much indeed, Fegsy. We really do try to keep things going and keep them on an even kill. I am very, very fortunate. The guests I have on the show, you can see the kind of people I have. You know, they're just great people. I have, you know, great people who come out and decide to be on the show, and I think that's a real blessing, actually.
Lord, I thank you for every moment you brought me through, every valley low and every mountain top.
I keep forgetting, I might have done something now. I want to say thank you again, as always, to the team over there at Salt FM UK for providing the bandwidth and the airtime to syndicate with us over here at Soul Food Gospel as we add a little soul to their salt. Shouts going out there to the architect, the unstoppable, and of course the uncomparable. They know themselves.
Lord, I worship you. Hallelujah, Lord, I give you praise. Hallelujah, there is none like you. Yeah, yeah. I feel like a fire shut up in my bones. Feel like a moving everywhere I go. Feel like I'm dancing.
I've got one complaint about everything. Where is the summer, man? It's just been raining. I have never seen it rain so much in August in my whole entire life. I think Saturday it must have just decided to say, you know what? Hallelujah! The heavens just opened up and it just poured and poured and poured and poured and poured. I said I was really fortunate. Sunday morning I kind of like jumped up, got up and got out quick, got on the bike, did about 30 odd miles before it started chucking itself down again. But my goodness gracious me, man. And today wasn't much better, was it really? It's been raining off and on.
I cannot explain.
Let's do Pastor Angie. Yeah, Pastor Angie Cleveland's. This one's called The Other Side. You know, I really like this jam, man. Also available on the Summer Mix.
You give me confidence. The word is my defense. My heart agrees.
Hi, this is singer-songwriter Basola, and you're listening to DJ Val from
Promise I'll pursue. I will keep the faith and say, in just a few short days, I will be sitting on the other side of this
ways, but your word creates the space for me to rest in what is true. You give me confidence, your word is my defense. My heart agrees with what you say. I keep my eyes on you, you promise I'll pursue. I will keep the faith and say,
Like Mummy Reed, that she said, you look like you're having a good time. You better believe it. What's the point in coming out and doing this if you don't enjoy it, right?
Pick your faith up, it's time to move.
As always, shouts going out there to our other streaming partners and support. We've already said hi, going out there to the team at Throne Connection Radio out of Kentucky. Shouts going out there to Angel of Melody International Radio Network, all the way out of there, Detroit, Motor City, Michigan. Got to give props going out there to Team LCBN TV and Lifecom Radio. Shouts going out to the Mighty Rack Radio and Cornerstone Christian Radio. Coming like it's a Catch You Fire Friday, right?
DJ Val, play music for your mind, body and soul.
Outside Fegsy.
I'm born again, child of God, child of God.
Wait for people to see that video now. Hope I don't embarrass myself. Oh. Hey, Jehovah.
All that you see, all that I have, all that I am, that I am, that I am. What I become, where I'm going is because of God.
DJ Val, play music for your mind, body and soul.
Flying higher, stepping higher. It's because of God.
love this track as well. This one also is on the summer mix too, so great dancing music, especially if you want to work out, right? As I said, we are all working out. We use the Strava community app, available on the App Store and on the Google Play Store. That's how we check our progress, and we encourage one another by giving ourselves thumbs up. Talking of thumbs up, if you haven't given this show a thumbs up, please do. I know it's in 3 bits. This one's in 3 bits. I'm going to fix that. Don't worry. Trust me. But please, all 3 bits need 3 thumbs. And as I said, I'm going to do a special show tomorrow. And all I'll do is I'll cut out the bit that I know is causing offense. And then I shall repost that one in the, in case you missed it, Soul Food Reloaded shots. We are all over the internet like Ultron, trust me. I do remember tomorrow is the tomorrow is the original show, and I believe I have a gold edition of that coming, going to be wheeled out, so get ready for that one. You're gonna have to tune in and find out who's going to be on it, but I guarantee you're gonna absolutely love it. Which app is that? Oh, sorry, it's called Strava. S for Sierra, T for Tango, R for Romeo, A for Alpha, V for Victor, A for Alpha.
It's because of God.
There you go. Rather than me try and spell it out, and it should be on the screen. That makes it a little bit easier. But free to use.
Right.
Free to use as and when you feel like using it. Go ahead and keeps it's a great app actually. Keeps track of your runs or your cycles or however it is you're exercising.
Your promises are written in my heart to
Let's do Little Miss Roni from Malawi.
for life. You fight for me when troubles come, and I'm grateful, Lord, for everything you've done. You're my protector, my defender, I'm holding on to forever. My protector, my defender, I'm holding on to forever. I can't let go, kule gaja, I'm holding on to forever. I can't let go, kule gaja, I'm holding on to forever.
So I better say this as we come to the coming very, very close to the end of the show. I will say this as always. Thank you so much indeed to my contributors and collaborators. Thank you so much indeed. Music birthed out of the spirit, aka Fegs, aka Omalicha Baby, latest single release. Also, Mr. Jararu Gambian. God bless you, my brother. Shouts going out there to the class captain. And of course, all you other people that are hiding behind the privacy glass or just not talking today. It's cool, it's alright.
You have always been.
As I do like to say, if you do need to stay at home, stay at home.
Walking with me too.
If you do need to go out, of course, always be safe. But most importantly, don't lose your faith in Christ Jesus. Take good care. Stay tuned to our Soul Food Gospel. Lots of great shows coming up over the next few weeks.
You're my protector, my defender, I'm holding on to forever. My protector, my defender, I'm holding on to forever. I can't let go, kule gaja, I'm holding on to forever. I can't let go, kule gaja, I'm holding on to forever. I'm holding on forever. I'm holding on forever. Forever. me go.